Hey, welcome to the NFLPA 2021 Summer Getaway. I am so honored and I hope you're having a blast so far. I am so excited to be talking to you about this important topic of financial abundance. My name is Monica Reyes. Get ready, set, and go. So today, before we get started, can you please make sure to have something to write with? We are going to be doing a little bit of self-reflecting today. All right, let's get started. So, financial abundance means having plenty or a very large quantity of something. It is the innate tendency of nature and life to manifest, to grow, and to become more. So new things are always being invented. The scientists say that the universe is always expanding and growing. So even new stars are being created. This is abundance on a cosmic level. Being abundant actually starts with feeling abundant. And what we feel is determined by what we think, which is why, as you can see on your agenda, we'll be digging into thoughts and your mindset today because this is where it starts. We'll be going into elements of abundance. We'll be talking about abundance versus scarcity. We'll be talking about your money story. I'll tell you all about what that is and how to, figure it out and what to do about it. We'll be exploring your past and your present, and we'll be discussing what it means to create a new story, how to have an abundant mindset, and how to take abundant inspired action. So, next slide, please. A little bit about me before we dig in together. So, I was an attorney for a very long time, and I was actually born in. I'm a daughter of immigrants and two immigrants. One of them was a construction worker. Although I lived in, I was there was poor and I was in the middle class. Sometimes kind of bounced in between those two classes. Somehow my mom was able to get me into the best schools in the country. What was interesting was I remember one specific memory of being dropped off on the corner because my people were being dropped off in Rolls Royces. They were being dropped off, like there was chaperones dropping them off. And I'd never seen money like that. I'd never seen money like that. So that's kind of the beginning of my sort of moving into my abundant sort of my story. I remember feeling very, very the gap and the difference between me and my peers and around me. And what I grew up knowing was that my belief in money comes from really hard work. My father was a construction worker. My mother worked third shifts. And so it really took a lot of hard work to make very little money. And it was work that you didn't love. My parents did not love what they did. They definitely were not passionate. They definitely weren't joyful. And money was always scarce. I saw my parents make a lot of money and then I saw them lose it all. So when I was an adult, I had my first business, which is my law firm, and I put everything into it. I worked 7 days a week. I was a new mom, and I remember feeling like I was missing out on my child's life. And so I basically had recreated that same exact reality. I had created a life of work I didn't absolutely love. I definitely wasn't passionate and joyful about it. It was really hard. It was arduous. And what's interesting about that journey is that my law firm ended up becoming a multi-million-dollar law firm, which I ended up selling and then soon ended up losing all of it also. So you're starting to see how that pattern kind of recreates. And we're going to dig in a little bit into that. But I wanted to share my personal story because really the power of belief, which is what we're going to get into today, is paramount. So through that process, owning a law firm, I learned so much. I learned so much about energy. I learned so much about money, about the law of attraction, the power of beliefs. I ended up leaving my law firm and I ended up becoming what's called a transpersonal life coach. And I ultimately became a speaker and a trainer, and I did my TEDx. As you can see, there's a picture of that, something I'm very proud of. So I ended up leaving that law firm, rebuilding my empire, and I'm doing the work that I absolutely love. And so throughout that process, I really learned that I had to change my relationship to money, my finances, how I feel, and what I think. And more of the more recent things that I've done as far as money is I ended up hiring an investment coach to learn how to be an investor so I can be way more intentional. I'll tell you about that also. This is what it's all about. It's looking to be present, right? So in essence, what we're going to do today is we're going to look into the present moment. We're going to take a look at what is currently happening. We're going to take a look into the past to see what is your money story. What kind of messages did you receive? What was your childhood like? And we're going to look to see that sort of what happened historically, and then we're going to create a new future together. All right, next slide, please. So we're going to start our journey out into mindset. If you can take a look here, the easiest way to define abundance is to define what it is not. And so here I've listed out sort of what it means to have an abundant mindset and what it means to have a scarcity mindset. So when you are abundant, you believe there is always more, right? There's always more. You believe that you can think big and embrace risk. We can take ownership, which means we don't blame, we don't shame, we actually take ownership for our own mistakes. You have no problem doing that. You lean into change, you find opportunities rather than difficulties, and you focus on what is available, what there is, what is possible, and what is already known. On the other hand, when we're in scarcity, you believe that maybe there isn't enough. There never is enough. Oh, why, when is there ever going to be enough, right? It's that feeling, that suffering of like there's never enough. I'm always having to struggle. I'm always having to count my pennies. We think small. We avoid risk, right? Of course. I mean, it makes sense. If you're feeling, and if you're in that scarcity mindset, you're going to avoid risk. You think small. We blame. We shame. We fear change. We see obstacles and problems rather than the opportunities, and we focus on what isn't available, right? We're always focusing on lack. We're thinking about, oh man, I wish I had more of that. Somebody with what we want shows up, and we might feel jealous or envious about it, right? We start to feel those feelings of, I wish I had that. When is it going to be my turn? Why isn't this possible? Of course this happens to me. And also we focus on what isn't known. Next slide, please. So, the important thing here about beliefs, about mindset, is that your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions, and your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. And so, this is a beautiful depiction of what does happen. This is why mindset is so important. Sometimes we think we need to, let's make more money, let's work harder, let's create more businesses, let's create another strategy, right? And we're always focusing on what's happening externally outside of us. That is the tendency. That is usually what people do. That is absolutely important. We will get there. However, there's something way more effective, because if you are coming from the scarcity place, right? Let's just say that an opportunity floats your way, and person A, let's say they have this abundant mindset, and they think, oh, always an opportunity. I can do this. There's always enough. And then person B thinks, I'm there. There's never enough. I don't know if I'm enough. I don't know if I'm worthy, if I can even receive this. Who do you think is going to take that opportunity and run? Person A, of course, because it all starts with their belief, right? When you have an abundant mindset, you will see that there are opportunities. You will take action that is abundant. You will hang out with people that are abundant. You will create a life, a destiny that is abundant. And it's not only important because of the actions and the words and the values that you have, but it is also important because of the law of attraction. So, the law of attraction says that what we think and what we feel becomes our reality. And so, if we believe we have to really work hard to be abundant, and money is scarce, and money is evil and is the root of all evil, then that is exactly what we're going to create, right? But what if it could be easy? What if there could be more than we can even imagine? The energy from which you create determines the creation. So it is really important that whatever you're doing, it's not just important that the action that you're taking, it is important from which you come from. It is important from how you're feeling when you're doing it. Are you feeling grateful when you're working and you're paying your bills and you're paying your taxes? Or are you feeling scarcity and lack, like, oh man, I wish I didn't have to pay that. I wish that, that's my last this, right? When you think in abundance, you think, oh, I'm going to pay this, and there's always more. Does that make sense to you? All right. What would be possible then? Next slide. So now we're going to dig into your money story. So this is basically this is the beginning of our internal exploration. And this is your money story is a personal narrative about money. It is what you believe money to be. What you believe. Do you believe that it's evil? Do you believe that it's good? Do you believe that it's neutral? What do you believe about money? And what's interesting about this, which is why we're going to go a little bit like 2 layers deep, because what tends to happen is you might see what it is in your current life, but when we go a little bit deeper, when we go back in time into the past, you might actually see like that you might actually hold the same beliefs that your parents did, because your money story is based on your beliefs, it's based on your thoughts, and it's based on your feelings. So what do you believe about money? What do you think about money? What are the main thoughts, the dominant thoughts in your mind when money is around, when you have to be in exchange of money? How do you feel? Do you get anxiety? Do you have a like a knot in your stomach or in your throat? Do you feel tense when you have to talk about money or experience the exchange of money? These are all really, really important notes. And there's no judgment here. It is just information. So I invite you to see in the next couple slides, we're going to take our journal out and we're going to start to explore and dig a little bit deeper into the world of your money story. But make sure to take a look at this from the eyes of compassion and non-judgment, because it's just information, and what we get from here is gold. Because what we're going to do with this then is we're going to be able to use this to be more intentional in your everyday life. We're also, another thing, and on your own time, what you can also take a look at is, what is money like in your culture? And if you look in your culture, what does it look like generationally? In my own money story, my own sort of journey, one of the things that I had to do was I had to go back into time and take a look beyond my mother, beyond my father. I needed to take a look at my ancestry, and it was incredible what I found out as far as like what kind of dynamics there were about money. It was way deeper than I ever thought. So for me, it wasn't just the belief of money isn't easy, money is scarce, or that it requires hard work to make money, or that you can have it all and then lose it all. For me, there was also a dynamic of power in money, which was very interesting for me. And that was actually like sort of the last hump that I had to go over when I had to kind of dig into my own money story. Because what I realized, that entanglement of money and power, it made me feel like money was evil, money wasn't good. So I basically stopped myself from experiencing wealth for a very long time, because if I created wealth, then I would be a bad person, right? Because that was what was passed down. There's actually a field of study called epigenetics that has proven that we pass down trauma, we pass down fear through our genes. And so those genetic codes were passed down through me, and I could actually, through pattern tracking and pattern recognition, I could see that that was actually the case. And boy, once you're aware of it, really sometimes that's all it takes. It just takes awareness, it just takes acknowledgement. And then, so of course it affects your financial behaviors, and these are formed in early childhood based on observation from your parents and other influences in your early life. And so it might not just be your parents, it could be the people that are hanging most around, because these thoughts, these neural pathways that are formed in your brain are formed through repetition. So it all depends on how often you might have experienced or heard or listened or felt whatever it was feeling. And the more that you felt it, it became truth. That's the brain. The brain's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The brain wants to be very efficient. So kind of takes the external data and makes these neural pathways so that it's like, oh, this is the truth of what the environment is, right? Remember, we're evolving. So it's really important. Okay, next slide. Okay, so take out your pens and your journal. We're going to go ahead and start to explore the past. So let's, before we even do that and we start to read these questions, go ahead and just kind of, let's close your eyes and just take a deep breath. And I'm going to lead you into just kind of a short 1 to 2 minute sort of visualization, so that we can bring whatever is up here, and then we'll write everything down. Okay, so go ahead whenever you're ready. If you feel comfortable enough, close your eyes, or a soft gaze down to the ground. Let's just start off by taking some deep breaths, inhaling all the way in, exhaling all the way out. And just go ahead and give me 3 deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Very intentional breaths, and just feeling how the power of intention that you already have, the ability to breathe as deeply, as long as you want, this power of choice that you have, that you can use at any point in time. All right. And then move, after you've exhaled that last breath, go ahead and go internally and just notice the breath inside for a moment. Just notice the breath inside, noticing yourself breathing, just noticing that when you stop intentionally breathing, something picks up where you left off. That's the natural intelligence within you. All right. All right, so I'll go ahead and just start to visualize with me. As I'm answering these questions, just notice. You might notice pictures, memories, you might see words, you might see images, numbers. Just take note, again, kind of like a scientist with observation, and then you're going to write it all down. Okay, so what money messages might you have received in childhood? So just going back in time, coming in as a scientist, just noticing through observation, what money messages did you receive in childhood? Just take a moment to notice whatever shows up and emerges for you. Just noticing if any memories show up, anything comes up at all. What relationship did your parents have with money? What was money like? What were they like with money? Again, just noticing any memories, any images, you just purely with observation. All right, keeping your eyes closed. What was the feeling around paying bills in your household? Was it joyful? Was it um, kind of like a task? Just thinking about the feeling. What was the feeling around paying bills in your household? Just noticing from a place of observation. And did a significant financial event occur? So did your parents or did anyone in your life experience anything, find anything significant, both in the positive or the negative? So it could have been a bankruptcy, a divorce, somebody might have lost their job, maybe somebody gained a lump sum, an inheritance, a windfall. Again, just allowing for images to emerge, no judgment, just noticing. Okay. All right, go ahead and take a deep breath. Let it all out, coming back into the body, back onto the Zoom, onto the 2021 Summer Getaway, July 16th, 2021. And whenever you're ready, opening up your eyes and go ahead and write in your journal on your note paper whatever showed up for you in this visualization. Just take a moment and you'll have these questions. If you want to snapshot this screen, the slide, you can do that. You can always go back. Go ahead and write down what did emerge for you. All right, we're going to take just another minute. All right, go ahead and put your pen down. And again, you can snap a screenshot of this slide if you'd like to go back. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do this 2 more times, all right? So hang in there. Okay, so whenever you're ready, we are going to start to explore the present. And so kind of closing your eyes in this moment, right? Same sort of thing. You can take a deep breath and kind of go within. And I'm going to lead you into these questions. And I just want you to feel around in your body and just see what emerges for you. Okay, so go ahead whenever you're ready. Take a deep breath, close your eyes. And I'm going to lead you into these questions. Do you have any feelings of guilt or shame about money? So just feeling into when you bring up money, do you feel any shame? Do you feel any guilt? Do you feel anything in your body, any tightness, any tension? Just noticing where it's located. Don't label it. Don't call it anything. Just notice. What comes up for you, feeling wise about money? Do you feel like you deserve money? Do you feel like you're worthy of money? Do you feel like if money were around, you would deserve it? You'd be able to receive it? Again, just feeling around in the body, allowing whatever wants to emerge to come through. Do you believe financial success is attainable for you? Why or why not? Just noticing the thoughts and feelings that come up. No judgment. Do you believe that financial success is attainable for you? Why or why not? And lastly, what are your current money habits? Do you spend your money before you have it? Do you have debt? Are you intentional? Do you lean into money? Do you avoid it? Do you deny it? What are your money habits? And just be nice and honest. Compassion, it's just information. We're just going to use it so that we can create our new story. Just allowing whatever wants to emerge to come through. Okay. All right, taking a deep breath. Whenever you're ready, coming back into your body, July 16th, 2021. Opening up your eyes. Go ahead and write down whatever came through for you. Any images, even if it doesn't make sense, jot it down. And if you hear any little sort of voice that's judging you, it's serving you. Remember, it served you in the past, so it might be keeping you small. It might be reminding you to do the right thing. And so just thank it, acknowledge it, and keep writing. And if you feel anything at all, if you're feeling any tightness anywhere in your body, just take a moment. You can put your pen down and put your hands kind of like this. You can put your hand in the spot that you feel it, and you can just breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, right into it. Just remembering it's just energy, it's just a temporary experience. Breathing right into it. All right. Okay, well done. You can go ahead and take a screenshot of the slide if you want to experience, if you want to explore some more. So the power of exploration it's just really powerful and important because it provides you information so you can see what is true. Sometimes we've got these defense mechanisms that don't even allow us to see. We're totally in the unconscious. These are all unconscious programming. It's your default. And so what we want to do is we want to create a new program. And so exploring is step number one. It's becoming very honest. It's awareness. And meditation, if you're not already meditating or doing mindfulness, that isn't. And I believe that there was somebody speaking this weekend about mindfulness, a very important skill, because it really allows you to. It really, what it does is it activates the part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, which allows you to become more aware. And that's all we want to do is we want to become more aware of these beliefs. We want to become more aware of, like, you're about to do something, you're like, hold up, this isn't abundant, or what energy am I coming in from, or what was that thought that I just had, or oh, I'm having this anxious feeling right now, what is that about, and what did I just think before that? All of that is information that's really important, because when we bring in, not only does it cause you to act in certain ways, limited ways, but again, it's also the law of attraction is at play here. And so whatever is locked up in your body, whatever you're denying and you're not feeling, and whatever program you're on, that's the reality that you're creating right now. So exploration allows us to see what's operating behind the scenes. But the other thing, so one of the things I stopped, if I mentioned in the exploration, was if you were feeling something, to go ahead and feel it. That's another really important thing, because we can't just skip over that. If you start to feel anxious because an event happened, a financial event happened in your life, and you're like, oh my God, you start to feel sick, you're feeling tense, your heart is starting to race, take a moment and stop and just be with your body. And just be with it. Lean into the feeling. It's just energy. And that is actually a way to kind of unhinge the thought from the emotion. So it's a really, really powerful practice, just to stop and be with whatever you're feeling. And sometimes you have to actually feel it, the depth of what you're feeling. It's very, very powerful. It's uncomfortable, but it just takes a second. All right, so let's go ahead and move into creating our new story. So we are going to, I'm going to take you into a quick last sort of visualization. Um, and in this, as I mentioned, the law of attraction is not just, it's like I mentioned, it's thought and it's feeling, it's thought and emotion. So it's not just what we think. Thinking is it's like the first part of the game, but the thinking is usually linked to your body. It's a mind body experience. So whatever you're feeling, that is what runs. That's the magnet. And so it's really important to feel whatever it is that we want to feel, whatever reality we want to feel. So that's what we're going to focus on right now. All right. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes one more time. And go ahead and take a deep breath. You can kind of shake your shoulders a little bit. Let's shake the past and the present out for a moment as we create. Let's move into an expansive state. So shoulders back, heart open. Let's go ahead and bring something that we're grateful for. What are we grateful for in this moment right now? Something that you're so grateful for. It could be a person, a thing. You're grateful for being on this NFLPA summer getaway. Just bring in a quick little bit of gratitude and start to feel your heart expand for a moment. Grateful and grateful and grateful. All right. So what does your new money mindset look like? If you could create your reality right now and you could have anything that you want, who would you need to be? What would your new money mindset be like? Remembering everything that I told you about abundance, right? There's always more. I love change, right? I'm not afraid of risk, right? Feeling what that feels like in your body. What does it feel like to be abundant? Go ahead and try to see if you can bring that feeling up in your body right now. You can use gratitude. Gratitude is a really easy way to do that. So feeling that gratitude, feeling the abundance, feeling how nature is always abundant, how nature never runs out, right? You never see any running out of flowers. Like it's always finds a way. This is who you are. You are also a part of this intelligence. So feeling that abundance, the vastness, like an ocean, like a mountain, this is who you are. Really feeling that for a moment. Now, if you were abundant, if you had this abundant mindset, how does your new story play out in your life and your finances? finances. So imagining what this is, right? Dream with me for a minute. What is your new story? What is your new financial story, right? What is it? What are you like with your finances? What does your life look like? What are you wearing? What do you look like? What do you walk like? What do you talk like? Who's around you? Dream unreasonably. Allow yourself to dream unreasonably. Remembering to keep your posture nice and open. The minute we slump, the minute we limit. So nice and open posture, heart open, dream, dream, dream. What are your actions and your behaviors like if you're this abundant? What does someone this abundant do? What kind of actions do they take? How do they behave? What are they like with money? What kind of decisions do they make? Okay, taking a deep breath, and so it is, letting that all go. Whenever you're ready, coming back into July 16, 2021 with me on this financial abundance workshop. Go ahead and take a moment to write down whatever you saw, you felt, you thought. So as you're writing down, looks like there's a question. What apps do you use to meditate? There's so much, so many resources. Some of my favorites are Insight Timer, INSIGHT, Insight Timer. I'm on that app, and it's free. You can take free courses, free meditations. Another one is Smiling Mind, Calm, Headspace. YouTube has lots of resources as well. I personally do like the apps because you can set timers. It takes note of your schedule, how long. It's really fun to follow along. Okay, go ahead and put your pens down. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this slide if you'd like. So, how do we make real change, right? So, we've explored, we've written down, right? What you've written down in your past exploration, your present exploration, that's your default programming. So, as I mentioned, we need to reprogram your mind. And the way to do that, your mind and body, is through repetition. And consistent change creates these new neural pathways. Next slide, please. So, some of the ways that we can do this is through affirmations. So, an affirmation, in essence, is just a statement done with intention. So, it's the intention that you'd like to set. It's like what you're stepping into. So, I am a money magnet. There is always more than enough. Money loves me. Those are some of my favorites. You can create your own, making sure it's always positive, it's always in the present, like not like I'm going to be a money magnet. I already am a money magnet, right? Again, it's already here, it's already happening because it is. The other thing you can do is gratitude. You've experienced a little bit of that today. So the feeling of gratitude is a really easy way to shift your feeling from scarcity to abundance. So that's a really easy thing to do. One thing to remember, though, it's important to feel what you're currently feeling, and then once you felt it, then moving into gratitude. But gratitude, making sure that you bring gratitude into everything you do with money. So when you pay your bills, when you, I mean, when you're doing that exchange, being grateful for what you have, seeing the opportunity, your gift in anything, and remembering not to poison the fruits. Law of attraction is going to bring you everything that you currently are. So even if it's not what you want, it's still for you. It's going to poke you and show you exactly where you need to grow. So not like, oh man, that's not what I wanted, or oh man, can't believe that happened again. Yes, thank you for showing me where I have to grow. Thank you for showing me what's still here. It's all it is, the out picturing of your reality. All it is information. You can see it as just information. energy information and come in from that neutral place, then you can be like, okay, great. I know where I might need, I didn't realize that I still had that belief. Great. Let me just work on that a little bit. Let me explore it. Let me feel the feelings. Let me create some more affirmations. All the things that I showed you today, you can use. Let me see where I can be even more intentional. And then you can also use this reframe, preparing versus waiting. So believing that the abundance is already on the way. And rather than like, you know, waiting, all right, what do I need to do in order to get ready for abundance? Do I have the space? Am I organized? Have I leaned in? Do I know everything about money? Do I have the right people around me? How can I prepare even more? Right? It's like there was an example, I can't remember who said it, but there was an example that someone said about the law of attraction that was like, it's like as if, what do you do when you know the pizza's on its way? Like the pizza delivery man is on its way to deliver that pizza. You know it's on its way, right? So you're getting your paper, you're getting your napkin, you're getting everything ready for that pizza, right? So how can you get ready for abundance? That's the way the universe works. If you can get ready for abundance, whatever that means to you, this is how you're like drawing in a law of attraction. Attraction is a pull, it's a magnet. And by taking action in abundant action, like I'm getting prepared for it, that will that's basically the energy that you want to be in. And then an anchor versus engines is just a really easy kind of thing to do when you're taking a look at, do I have in my life, taking a look at the 20 people around me, are they anchors? Are they pulling me down? Are they energy draining, or are they energy rich? Are they moving me forward? Are they engines? That's another quick little exercise that you can do. All right, next slide. All right. And then lastly, what we can do here is we can be intentional, right? So it's not just about being abundant, but it's also being very intentional. So if you know, for instance, that you get triggered in a certain way, like the minute you're starting to explore and you're starting to look at your money habits and you're like, wow, every single time that I've gotten a check-in, I immediately go spending. What is that about? Right? What is that about? What is that feeling about? What is the urge about? What is the crave to do that about? And again, not coming in from judgment, but just coming in from this, that's good information. That's a default pattern. Is that a problem for me? Do I want to do that? So if you know that already, that is a pattern that you recognize, then what you might want to do is like be intentional. So you might already plan out the money before it gets here so that you've already taken stock as to what you're going to do with it. Or maybe you allocate certain funds so that you can go play with that, but you don't blow your entire check on playtime. All right, you want to get close with money, right? You want to lean into it. So you want to learn about money. You want to learn about the economics of the country, right? You want to learn how to become an investor. That's been a very powerful experience for me. Oh my God, it's absolutely changed the way that I see money. And then maybe bless your bills. Again, coming from that gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that every cent that leaves you is coming from, it's a blessing. It is gratitude. It's coming from the energy of love, because the energy of love is the field. Law of attraction, the field is the field of the quantum, is love. So we want to hold that open space no matter what we're doing with money. And remember, money is just energy. So sometimes we stop the circulation by gripping on with scarcity. That is not what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to let it go and know that if it goes out, it will come back in. That's the way money works. It's the circulation. And then lastly is to write money a love letter. If you've never done this, it's a really beautiful exercise, because ultimately what you're doing is you're changing your relationship to money. So it's not that money doesn't like you. Money doesn't judge you. Money doesn't say, yeah, she or he doesn't, they don't want me, or I don't like them. Money does not do that. Money is neutral. Money is just an energy. So, if you can write money a love letter and start to create a loving relationship with money, it can be really, really powerful. Okay, let's go ahead and answer some questions. So, what do you do if you find out you have some anchors in your life? That's a great question. So, So, first off, is just knowing that you're most likely never going to be able to change the other person, right? So, it's like it's good information. It's taking note, and so it's maybe taking a look at how might I be showing up here, like, and is this a default? Like, if I look around and I'm looking at all the people around me are anchors, what does that mean about me? How am I showing up? How am I showing up? The other thing could be, for me, I definitely, as I started to do this work, I started to see that there were a lot of people around me that were not that were anchors, that were definitely holding me down, and I had to set boundaries. I basically raised the standards as to the people that I wanted to be around me. And that was a really, really big deal. What was really beautiful about that, though, because there were some people that I was able to like kind of close the door, like, this friendship isn't working. I love you so much, but we're no longer aligned. Or maybe I had to set a boundary of like, my standard is this, and I no longer allow myself to be treated in this way. Then there are relationships that typically are like your parents that you can't get rid of. And so what's beautiful about energy is like as you start to like look up, I use everything as I the out picturing that I talked about, right? It's like the law of attraction shows your reality is simply a reflection of what's happening inside. So I use that for everything. I use that for relationships. So whenever I'm feeling like what's happening with this person showing up here, I use that as a way to look inward. Okay, how am I showing up here? How am I showing up like that? What is my version of that? And through that, it's been so powerful. I've not only been able to transform myself, but I started to see people around me change. My mother completely changed. My husband changed. My children changed. I mean, it was incredible what can happen because of the law of attraction, and because everything internal is a reflection of everything external. All right. We always talk about red flags in relationships with people or money. What are some green flags? All right. That's a great question. So some red flags in relationships. So what is some green flags might be? So that, when you're thinking about relationships and money, you might want like, does this person, do they handle their money well? Do they have investments? Do they have an abundant mindset? What are their investing and spending habits? What are they like with money? What is their belief like with money? So what you did in creating a new story, those are some green flags. Can I find anyone like that? Is there anyone around me that has that sort of energy? And also remembering that whatever it is that you're wanting someone else to embody, it always starts with you. So always starting with embodying whatever it is that you want, meaning feeling and thinking and acting like, as coming from that abundant mindset. So always starting with you. But I would say some green flags might be, yeah, some green flags would be really seeing how they are they gripping money. Is the circulation flowing, or is it like, for instance, I worked with a gentleman I've worked with some pretty high net worth people. This one gentleman was, I mean, multimillionaire, and what was interesting was he used money as his security. So even though it would seem that he had a great relationship with money, his relationship with money was actually very gripping, and it was affecting his like fiance, his relationship with his wife, because that gave him security in the world. He didn't have security in his own self. He was using money to replace that. So that's part of the relationship of money. It's taking a look at like, can I know that I'm abundant even when the money isn't shown up in my life? Can I still believe that I'm still abundant? And when you do that, like that, that's how the floodgates open. So in this particular case, it was all this gripping. All right. Any other questions? Anything else about abundance, about no more questions. All right. Well, thank you so much. I am so honored and grateful, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. You can follow me on social media and enjoy the rest of your time. You've got amazing speakers, and I'm excited for you. And as always, you can reach out to me if you have any questions about anything that you saw today or anything else. All right. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much. Take care.